Building a welcoming environment and improving support services for international PhD students and academics is a high-level goal that needs to be recognized in the institution strategies and related action plans. Based on such strategic approach, institution could reflect on the topic from a broader perspective, incorporating this topic into an institutional strategic plan or internationalization strategy reflects the institution's commitment to these goals, and it should definitely involve an internal discussion with various internal stakeholders such as student union, faculty members, administrative staff, and others on possible ways to achieve them. The development of such strategic goal involves understanding of where the institution currently stands in these areas and what could be done to further promote these goals. The implementation of the strategic goal should be supported with the specific action plan, which outlines possible actions accompanied by targets and measures of success, and also allocates adequate financial and staff resources within a given time frame. So, let us have a look at two primary questions of such strategic plan. First question is, what do we do and how do we do it, or where do we stand? And the second one is, where do we want to go? To find an answer to these two basic questions, we have to start with data. Data is king, as my colleague likes to say, yet as we know, many institutions are often overwhelmed and ill-prepared to make their data work for them. With data, institutions can track admissions, performance, recruitment, and more to improve international PhD students, academics, and faculty experience. Data is the body for strategic planning and evidence-based decision-making, framework for activities for internationals. It has a significant marketing impact and is pivotal for funding raising. In general, data can drastically improve institutions' operations. How is it in your institution? Do you collect comprehensive data on all incoming PhD students and academics, whether they come for full degree, work contract, or coming within various scholarship or fellowship mobility programs? Tracking a mobility flow of all incoming international is often an issue, especially in case of large decentralized university in Central, Eastern, and Southeastern Europe. So, what information on incoming PhD students and academics do you collect? Who at the institutional level needs to be informed about international PhD students or academics or researchers' arrival, and for what purposes? What kind of data do other internal actors require, and when and what stage of mobility? And how can data make your job easier, more effective, and efficient? If you want to find out more about the data collection processes and management in the Welcome Center and how to achieve awareness on the ways to digitalize the operation of the Welcome Center, watch one of our online training modules under the title Digital Welcome Center. You will find the link to the module below the video. And once we know they are coming, do we know what their actual needs are at particular phases of their mobility? Namely before their arrival, upon their arrival, during their stay, and even after their departure? This is really crucial question for institutions in order to know what kind of support will be required to meet their actual needs. Do we collect any data on this? Do we use potential of our international PhD students and academics, for instance, serve as our ambassadors, helping spread the information about our institution and thus attract more international talent? Or as a conference key speaker after they leave our institutions? And now we are getting to the question, what do we already do? Do we provide services that actually meet the needs of incoming PhD students and academics? Is the portfolio of the support services comprehensive enough? For what target group do we provide support services to? Do we support only undergraduate students, or we support also doctoral students, researchers, lecturers? Do we provide support services at all phases of mobility? It means prior to mobility, upon arrival, during stay, upon departure, and even after departure. And what goals do we want to achieve? Do we want to improve their access to relevant information, or do we want to enhance their social integration or safety and well-being? You can do a short self-reflection exercise. Take a sheet of paper and a pencil and try to make a list of the services your institution provides at each stage. Try to count how many you have been able to name. You can do that either by yourself or together with your colleague or colleagues from your department. Here, I would again recommend one of our training modules prepared by our project team under the title Comprehensive Approach to Support Services, where you learn how to design and improve support services to meet real needs and build a better institutional image. You will find a link to the module below the video. And in the next step, we will move to how do we do it. First, let us see by whom at the institutional level are those services provided. Do we have a dedicated on-site welcome center or digital welcome center at the central level, or is it rather faculty or department level kind of support? Are any other internal actors involved in providing support to the international PhD students and academics? Do we collaborate with any external partners? Do we create any synergies that would thus ease our workload and improve our efficiency while we are providing good quality support? Do we collaborate with any external partners, whether those are local authorities, other universities or higher education institutions, local department of government bodies or other local companies, local schools, banks and so on? Are we aware of the added value and synergic effect that those external collaborations where we join our forces could bring to us? And if yes, are those collaborations somehow formalized or only based on very individual basis and are gone as soon as the respective person leaves the job? And how do we secure that the services we provide are of high quality and even our newcomer colleagues get the support in order to start provide quality services to incoming internationals? Do we have any code of conduct for support staff members in order to apply our pro-client approach and attitude in practice? If yes, what exactly does it cover? Just to give you an example of good practice, I would like to briefly present the code of conduct of the Euraccess network, which promotes a service culture approach based on politeness, openness and transparency. The primary rule is that all academics and researchers should be treated equally. They should be provided with high quality services in terms of reliability, competence and professionalism. The Euraccess network members should make the best efforts to ensure that information provided is complete, impartial, accurate, practical, user-friendly and up-to-date. Public holidays and days off have to be clearly indicated on the website or through automatic email responses. All requests and complaints have to be responded within 3 working days, and if further research is needed to provide the information, it should be explicitly expressed in the reply with an estimated time span within which the answer can be expected. And we should not forget about data protection. All the information should be confidential. Do we have a guideline and checklist on standardized procedures in place to organize and support the stay of international PhD students and researchers and lecturers? Is there any induction training for newcomer support staff members in place? And how do they learn how to proceed when starting their job? Do we have any knowledge sharing platform or practice that would enable us to share our knowledge and consult issues with more experienced colleagues? Do we collect and categorize the most frequent questions from our target group? Do we build an internal database of email templates for various model situations to save our time, but at the same time still being able to secure the quality of provided information or guidance? Do we have or build our own database of external partners such as visa legislation experts, official translators, accommodation providers, healthcare providers, child facilities, whether internal or published on our website? And now we are getting to the core aspect that should be the source of the relevant, up-to-date and accurate information. Well-structured website in English. Is our website dedicated to incoming PhD students and academics easy to find, navigate, well structured, and provide the most crucial information to our target group? Are our institutional systems, published documents, forms, institutional signs in English or bilingual? And what about institutional language policy? Do the internationals receive information not only on duties but also on various academic, networking, or career development opportunities in English? Of course, it is obvious that if we want to provide quality support service, it is necessary to build our own expertise. Do we have opportunities for that? Does the institutional leadership try to map and find out the training needs of the support staff members? Let's say via a regular survey. Do we have sufficient opportunities to participate in relevant trainings related to our agenda, such as legislation-oriented soft skill trainings, intercultural communication, unbiased communication trainings, time management, stress management trainings? And what about peer learning activities such as study visits or job shadowing, especially for newcomers, or networking activities for building good relations and exchange experience with our peers? And not least, do we or our colleagues also from other departments that could be involved in providing services to incomings have opportunities for English language trainings to improve or refresh their language skills so that they feel more confident when communicating with internationals? If yes, are there any surveys or analyses that would evaluate whether those capacity building activities were after all beneficial for the support staff members? For practical tips for internal effective procedures related to organizing and providing quality support to international PhD students and academics, as well as capacity building activities, visit the Univalis Explorer app. You will find a link down below this video. Also, our project team created a dedicated training module on intercultural communication, responding to cultural specifics and universals, a link to which you find below the video as well. This topic was identified among the most desired when we interviewed higher education manager and support staff members from institutions in Central, Eastern and Southeastern Europe within the Univalis project. So please check it out. Even if we have all the tools and opportunities for building our expertise and knowledge sharing, how do we know that we have provided quality services to the target groups that really met their needs? Here we close the cycle with the feedback loop for the target group that can provide us the best answer and reveal areas where we need to work on improvement. One of the tips for the survey that can be used as a model at your institution is the survey questionnaire that our project team created for the purpose of our survey, distributed among international PhD students and academics hosted or employed in 10 countries of Central, Eastern and Southeastern Europe. The questionnaire can be found on the website Univalis, and I put the link below the video. I already mentioned in one of the previous videos that the most prominent key drivers for internationalization processes at higher education institutions are heads of institutions. It is impossible to achieve internationalization goals and create a more welcoming and inclusive environment without the strong support from the institutional leadership. Needless to say that before we start designing a new internationalization strategy, we need to understand where we stand right now, and even if we already have a strategy and action plan, it is necessary to assess both to see whether we are successful in meeting our goals and what is still missing. While many higher education institutions conduct internal assessment, it is very beneficial to also have an external assessment carried out by the organizations with expertise and a rich experience in assessing the quality of internationalization. Here, I would like to draw your attention to the guide to assessing the quality of internationalization by European Consortium for Accreditation of Higher Education. The link to the document is below the video. Apart from internationalization strategy and institutional leadership support, we definitely need to pay attention to how to attract international talent to our institution, how to make our institution globally visible and attractive. Here, first, we need to understand what the motivation of the international PhD students and academics to come to our institution is. Do we know why they are coming? What is the main pull factor for them? Is it an opportunity to work with outstanding scientists in the field, or acquire knowledge and specific know-how from good practice, or build up new contacts, or expand professional network, or receiving a grant for available funding? This is crucial for definition of institutions' selling point or strengths and setting priorities. You can find much more details on institutions' global profile, visibility and talent attraction, a dedicated training module prepared by our project team, the link to which you can find below the video, so please check it out. Attraction of international researchers and academics to our institution is closely related with recruitment and selection processes in the host institutions, which should be ideally in line with an open, transparent, merit-based recruitment approach known as OTMR. This, among others, includes publication of detailed descriptions of the open positions, including the career development prospects and selection processes on international web-based resources such as your Access portal. Further details on OTMR approach can be found on the link below. Needless to say that also dedicated national and institutional implementation plans, including financial and other resources, enormously help attract and retain international academics at the institution on a long-term basis. If you want to know more on best practices regarding particular internationalization processes, visit our online app, Universe Explorer, with the link below. Here you also find individual practices with detailed description of their setup and delivery phases, as well as tips for internal and external collaborations and synergies. So check it out and give us your feedback. And now, at the end, this is self-evaluation time. If you want to identify priorities among operations and their current state of implementation at your institution, you can download the handout Daily Operations Assessment and do it as a self-assessment test and fill it in by your own or together with your colleague. If you are a higher education manager, there is also a dedicated section for you, enabling you to make a reflection on institutions' processes and make a list of operations and or activities which could be checked, rebuilt, developed, or implemented. This part should serve as a basic summary and lead to further examination of your institution. For assessment of your training needs and their current state of implementation, at your institution download the handout 2, Welcome Center Capacity Building Needs. Both handouts can be found below the video. Actually, all the resources I referred to during this video you will find down below, so check it out. And for those who are interested how the situation regarding talent attraction and support looks like at higher education institution in the region of Central, Eastern and Southeastern Europe, watch next video.